Hey, hi, this is Gautam here, and this is regarding with respect to VMware. And let me introduce myself. My name is Gautam. I have an experience on VMware for about 10 years, troubleshooting from V all level 1 to level 4. And I have an also experience on AWS, Nutanix, UCS, and different technologies like backup, Pure Disk, and other stuff. So we have we do all our trainings from for VMware. I do it from VMware Academy, so that we don't have anything left over behind. Apart from the VMware Academy, we are taking right now is installation, configure, and manage, which cover all of the all of the points which is required to you to work on like level 2 or level 3 kind of aspects. Apart from that, we'll be taking troubleshooting day-to-day activities. We can have some SOPs, and we can also have some labs, like one would be an online lab, and demos where I do perform some kind of labs in front of you, uh, real environments, plus other troubleshooting, because troubleshooting is something which is very much required. It's a bread and butter for VMware. So we'll be also covering the blogs and all, so where you can go and search for any kind of references and all. So how to legitimate that, and how to uh, have logging a call means, and having the troubleshooting done, all that. To start with, just we'll see a physical architecture for any infra right now, which is a traditional way of in a data center. So what you can see over here, like everything what is over here, apart from the OS and apps, is physical. Your your machines, like your host is physical, your operating system is software, but it is on single host. They're connected to physical lines, and all your data stores and all are connected physically. And this, it is nothing shared. What all you have is like individual storages and individual data stores, which is very cost effective. Now, if you consider the topology for virtual, you can see over here, you have many operating systems into the same hypervisor. Now we come across hypervisor in some time, like there are two type of hypervisor, how you can configure in your labs, on in your environment, in your workplace. Other thing is like host. Whenever you hear a word host, is always a physical. Apart from that, everything is virtual. Now, whenever you whenever you heard about appliance, or you heard about a machine or something, they are all talking about a virtual thing. If they say host, that is, they are talking about EXSI. EXSI is a basic operating system which is used for VMware environment. It's it kind of like a flavor of Linux. So because of the whatever the commands, or when you connect to Power CLI, you use Linux commands. Um, and this is connected to, there are two parts, like either you can connect the network storage, and you can connect the fiber channel storage like EMC in Hitachi, through HBAs for storage, and RJ45 for storage, as well as the network. So we come across each and everything. How do we configure each and everything? Basically, the whole environment will be in the cluster form of cluster. We do have some scenarios where we have individual hosts with many applications running on it, the VMs running on it, the OS running on it. So once we go through each and every stage of training, that time we'll come to know how we are going to manage the environment, depending upon the how big your environment is. It might be a small organization or a big organization. How we can consolidate that into a VMware. Just an overview of a virtual machine. What is virtual machine? It is nothing but bunch of files. Now, if I say if you have a redundancy for your files, and if it is lost, it is easy to recover. It is not same with the physical machine. If a physical machine is lost, you have to do a lot of things like tracking and stacking, cabling, and you have to do all the stuff like installing the operating system right from the scratch, installing patches and everything. But we do have some such things like templates, clones, and all, so that we can have more redundancy towards the VM. And what each and every operating system is supported, like most of them, like Linux, SUSE, and everything. VMware tools is nothing but the drivers, and these are the resources which is taken from the EXSI, like CPU and RAM, network adapters, and disk controllers, parallel and serial ports. So this is all used to make a VM functional. Just a small overview how the physical architecture looks and the virtual architecture looks. So we have the application running, maybe an application software which is running on operating system and the motherboard, that is your hardware. So it has individual RAMs, NIC cards, and disk and all. But if you consider the virtual architecture, you have multiple operating systems with CPU, their own CPUs and RAMs, which are virtual, and but they are derived from the physical. But if you see the difference over here, we have an operating system over here. We have a vSphere. On vSphere, we have other operating systems. Now, the same CPUs are shared over here, but they are shared in the form of codes and all. So you can have multiple codes. We come through the licensing where we talk about how many codes are there with respect to licenses. Now this particular, if you see a physical thing, a single RAM is shared with only one operating system, whereas a RAM is shared with multiple operating systems. So whenever you see an RAM and it is utilized, so most of the part is not utilized, like it's been wasted. Whereas in here, the remaining RAM is being used by the other operating system. Network. So we have a single network, and which acts as a switch to all the to all the VMs, which gives network for all the VMs, and which is trunk through network in the network adapters. Okay, so in the same way, other resources also shared. So we have a single physical architecture is shared with multiple OS having the same performance as a physical machine. Okay, just an example, like this is very cost effective for the for any infra to run, or any other company to run. On a single physical machine, you have application operating system and the hardware which is relying, and it is using the bulk of storage, which is a kind of waste if it is not shared. Suppose I have a 10 terabyte of data and I'm only sharing it with one physical machine, and you're wasting like other 9 terabytes. Whereas in virtual architecture, you have different operating systems and they have shared storage. So we come across a virtual file system, virtual machine file system, and I can show you the topology, how it works and all, and how it is shared across this. Now, if I format with this with Windows, it is completely NTFS and all. So I'll be able to only use it for one physical machine. But VMFS gives you the liberty to have it in a different like ext3, NFS, and shared volumes, NTFS, everything. So that is the reason it can have multiple operating system into the same storage. So this is quite what you can say economical for a company to have a shared storage rather than having a single storage. And how you can connect to this environment? There are two different ways doing. You need to have a client machine. From a client machine, you can directly connect to the vSphere client and connect to this host, or log into the vSphere client, log into the vCenter server, which is a centralized server for all the EXS hosts in all the regions. So we'll come across vCenter servers when we'll be taking a deep drive onto vCenter. What is vCenter and all? So from the vCenter, you'll be able to access this EXSI host or bunch of EXSI hosts. Other ways around, like if you don't have a vSphere client installed on your computer, you can use the web console. That is really be http colon slash slash your vCenter name dot port, and when you put that, you'll be asked for the same credential what you see over here. So just put that, and you can connect to your vCenter, and vCenter connects to that EXS host to take your commands for on the VMs or on the clusters.